Bayard Rustin was vital to the Civil Rights Act in the late 1900s. He was born on March 17th, in 1910. He grew up in Westchester with his grandmother because his mom had him when she was only 17 years old. His grandmother was a Quaker and influenced him greatly. After high school, he moved to New York, where he worked in a club as a singer. He attended Wilberforce University but left without taking his final exams. Then he moved to Harlem and began to study at New York City College, where he got involved in a campaign to free the 9 African Americans that were falsely convicted of raping 2 white women on a train. After that, in 1936, he joined the American Communist Party. At some point in his life, he went to India and met with Gandhi. Gandhi's pacifism influenced him greatly.
During a time of segregation and discrimination against homosexuality, which was illegal at the time, he stood up against those who caused it. One of his first major activist movements was his role on the March on Washington in 1942. Although the walk never occurred, he took a huge part in planning it. Later on that year, he founded the Congress on Racial Equality. 2 years later, in 1944, he was arrested for refusing to enlist in the war due to his pacifism. While he was in prison, he organized a protest against the segregated seating in the prison dining hall. Right when he got out of jail in 1946, he joined the campaign against segregation transportation. This movement was very successful and the buses ended their segregation. In the year 1947, he was arrested and beat for engaging in homosexuality that was breaking local Jim Crow laws. This was the first time that his homosexuality went public.
He spent 30 days in jail, and when he got out, he was openly gay. Some people stopped supporting him due to his sexuality, but he did not let that stop him from being who he was. In the year 1948, he won the Thomas Jefferson Award for Advancement of Democracy. 2 years later, in 1950, he met a civil rights leader of the name Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. They began working together to end segregation. Rustin taught King about Gandhi's philosophy of nonviolent resistance. He even got King to remove his arm protection during a protest. Rustin assisted King in a boycott against segregated buses in Alabama in the year 1956. He played an important role in the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom, which is when King gave his notorious I Have a Dream speech. Later in his life, he protested against Vietnam War. 2 of his writings were published in the collection Down the Line in 1971 and in Strategies of Freedom in 1976. He continued to speak about the importance of economic equality within civil rights movements, as well as the need for social rights for gays and lesbians. He died on August 24, 1987, at the age of 75 due to a ruptured appendix.